Varun, as he gets started right here, is going to set the tone for this entire league. The very first head-to-head match, very first solve. Let's see what Varun has.
I know you're ready.
Taking a bit of extra time. And here we go. Now, Varun is, I believe, a white cross solver only. He's been like this from the very beginning, so he's only going to be looking for the white pieces. 8 seconds of inspection are gone.
12 seconds.
And here we go, getting started now. Looks a little bit of a slower start to begin with, but then catching up pretty quickly on the OL, a little bit slow on the PLL recognition, 7:16. That's a pretty rough start for Varun.
Yeah, if I'm Varun, I'm thinking those are a little bit too much pauses for me. I've noticed the pause, I believe, after his third F2L pair, right there after his second one. Went straight in. That was on me. He paused for OLL and then did a U2 to recognize the E-perm and then rotated, which is unfortunate. E-perm really is just an unfortunate out. But 761, I believe Gerson can safety sub that, but it is the first solve of this entire organization, so we will see what Gerson can do.
As you can see, Gerson having to walk past Varun in order to get to the solving station. There's only one solving station. All the cameras are right here. All the lights are on. Now, this is going to be the exact same scramble. Gerson looks like he has on the bottom. Perhaps he's thinking of a similar solution.
8 seconds.
Let's see what he can do. Starting off now. Looked a touch locky to start things off. Now into OLL. That was an unfortunate execution error. 8:58 is going to be his time. That is not going to be enough. Varun is going to take solve 1. A bit sloppy from both competitors, but Varun able to get it done.
Something interesting. It looked like they had very similar solutions up until the third pair. Up until the fourth pair, actually, Gerson deciding to insert his last edge with insert his last pair with an anti-sexy instead of a sledgehammer, which is why their last layers were different. But very similar solutions up until that last pair. Varun taking the first solve, so here we go with the second one. Let's see if we can both get those nerves under control.
Lucky number 1 for Varun. He needs 2 more, and he's going to go up 1-0 on the set. That's got to be a huge confidence booster, especially when 2 sets wins the match. Looks like I feel like there's a good number of pieces oriented here.
12 seconds.
He actually has white on top. I wonder if he's going to go. No, yeah, white on top. It's still going to be his cross solution. Huge execution error at the end of F2L. Needing to rotate, unfortunately. And that's going to be 8:27. 2 sloppy solves from Varun.
Yeah, so he lost balance of the cube in his hands. Like, we classify that as a cube drop. So he also didn't have to rotate there on that PLL. He could have just done a U prime. So we go there, insert, and then he could have just done a U prime and done the A perm. But he opts to rotate, which I think is why he fumbled the cube a little bit there. So for all of you guys watching, that's something you can take note of. Just be sure to do AUFs instead of rotations before your PLLs. Gerson has to get a sub 8.28.
Yeah, definitely in his range to do. The other thing I thought was interesting, Varun, he was doing like the right-hand version, which is definitely interesting. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on that later, Luke. Here's Gerson now. Looks like he selected yellow cross instead. Perhaps he will get a better choice. Another cube drop / execution error. End turn, second first, 1. Both competitors not doing great with the lights on them so far. Varun up 2-0.
Yeah, Gerson looked very nervous there. In terms of just complete execution, I don't really have any notes. It looks like his solutions were fine, like his solutions normally are. He just had very locky execution, as well as on that fourth pair. It looked like that was supposed to be his first pair, but he inserted the pair with flipped edge, which can be a pain to solve.
Now you're ready.
Yeah, that's definitely no good. You definitely need to avoid those types of mistakes. Both competitors just need to calm down a little bit. This is set point for Varun, so he has quite a bit of an advantage. You see that there's that yellow edge that's already connected. Now, he's not going to be able to take advantage of that at all.
12 seconds.
Looks like he's going to have, like, orange front to begin with, maybe? much better through F2L. A bit of a pause there at the end. 664, that is much more of a Varun Mohanraj solve.
Yeah, very solid solve there, besides maybe a pause or two, but he's bringing the heat when it matters the most. 664 in this sort of situation as your third solve. You can't be too upset with that. I also did like the wide FR, wide F prime insert with your last pair. Gershon walk-up song, Fetty Wap up here. So let's see if he can get a sub 679 up on this next solve.
I mean, hopefully that'll give him a power up. He's certainly capable of doing. I think he had like a really good average at a WCA comp recently. White cross on the bottom is going to be his choice. Looks like there was maybe a touch of a pause, but other than that, looking really smooth all the way into OLL. But now A perm also rotating 7-0-8, just for the mid hit for rape number 1.
7-0-8.
Yeah, it's so much for the competitors to consider. Gurshan must win this set in order to stay alive. This is losers remember. So if he loses this, he is out of the competition, gonna go out at 7th. Another big pause there, looked like during F2L2. Now on to last layer. Looks like he's gonna finish up 8-1-2. Much more like even of a solve, I would say, but still has a lot of those pausing mistakes.
Let's take a look at this right here. So the first thing I would see is that green, orange, and white pair. I would look at that and try to make that my first pair since it's, right there. But something else that I like that he did was he did a sledgehammer on his last pair. I promote that a lot because it flows a lot better and it orients edges whenever possible. But it took him a couple tries to actually get it. I think he tried 3 times to get it. So do the right solutions and do them cleanly, and I think it's a recipe for good solves.
Solving cleanly is what Varun is going to need to do here. 8-12, definitely within his range. We've seen him beat that before. Just needs to execute it and not make any major mistakes. This is exactly what we're looking for. Smooth into OLL. A bit of a fumble on the PLL, but he afforded himself that much space. 7-6, and he is going to take this solve. A bit of a break over Gerson.
Yeah, kind of a safety right there on that timer stop after a little bit of a fumbly Y-perm. Y-perm is very tough to execute under pressure just because it is, I believe, 16 moves. It might be 17.
16.
But yeah, F unsexy F prime and then a PLL. He struggled on that last F prime. Yep. So he afforded himself enough time to actually have that fumble and safety the timer stop. Gershon gonna need to bring it. He's 5 solves down right now.
Yeah, it's good. He is looking in deep trouble so far. He's gonna need something magical. Maybe he can find it on this yellow cross. Looks like he's kind of set here. 8 seconds of inspection gone. So this is gonna be a solution that Varun is most certainly not going to do. Looking a lot better. Soon into looks like a G perm. 708. That is the best solve we've seen from him so far. That is much more like it.
Much more like it. It's probably still a little bit more shaky than he would like. But as of right now, that's the best we have seen of Gurshan Singh. Let's get into this a little bit. I thought that his F2L looked especially clean on this one, and he did that lefty sledge out to insert that last pair as well to force an anti-Soon into a G-perm. No Soon ZB from Gurshan, but I know he's learning quite a bit of TU and L. No Soon yet, but let's see if Varun can go ahead and take another solve.
Dude, don't get me started on Soon ZB, all right? Like that is just pure witchcraft.
It's easier than Pi and H.
Fair enough. Varun now, he is taking a long time to look at that white cross. Looks like he needed to pause a little bit before getting started with F2L. Now on OLL, he looks to be pretty good here. 7-1-3, he's just barely lost the solve to Gurshan. Gurshan takes his first solve of this entire set. We're tied up 1-1.
Gerson's better execution of that same PLO that they both got is probably what got him. But also, whenever he gets to OLL, I want you to look at this. He does a 2-look OLL. He does F, sexy, F prime, U prime, and T soon. So there's a couple different outs for that. There's the laser monkey one, which is F, unsexy, R prime, F prime, R, and then it's an insertion. Or you can do a soon that's kind of broken up by a B, U prime, B prime, R prime. Two different ways to solve that OLL. A lot cleaner than doing 2-look.
I wonder if he ended up having to kind of like safety the 2-look just to, in this kind of situation. I mean, he almost got there too. Here's Gurshan now. Needs to win 2 more to follow up 1-1. Kind of okay. Looks like there was a bit of an exit error right at the tail end of F2L. 8.76. A decent time. Not particularly competitive, I want to say. Maybe Varun will need to mess up for Gurshan to get this.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Gurshan, I do think Varun is going to take this solve pretty safely. Yeah. I mean, you saw in that first solve that he safetied the timer stop with cube drop in the middle of it,
I think
and got a 7.2.
Yeah.
So
Shy announced it wrong. Yeah, you're on solve 3.
Okay, so
yeah, it's 1-1.
A little bit of discrepancy in the stats in Varun's head versus what was announced, but it's all good. We know the stakes right here. Varun,
and you all at home,
solve.
Let
me know you're ready.
You all at home have the exact solve. Beautiful graphic right there. All right, solve number 3. Varun can put a dagger into this one if he gets a good solution here. I don't quite see that much. I wonder what he's for. Here we go now. Not too bad through the first well. Into OLL now. And there we go. That maybe would have of ZB. Luke, you are more skilled to commentate on that. 763.
I was doing some cubing today, and I got that ZB, and I questioned if doing the ZB for that case was actually worth it. So that is a terrible ZB case. So he does, he forces it. And
this
oh no, that was just PLO.
Yeah, it was just a little PLO. So what that was, it was a T OLL, which is most people do second pledge, but with wide R's. And the one that he did was with wide left moves because he wanted to do corner permutation, and then it was just a U perm after that.
Gurshan now to answer. Let's see what he can cook up here. He's got yellow cross on the bottom. Going ahead, that is a huge pause there in F2L and some sloppy turning. This is not going to do it. This is going to be his last solve. 9.63, and with that, Varun wins 2-0. He is going to advance. Gurshan, a great run, but out. Or no.
Varun still has one more solve left.
No,
he
Varun
hasn't
has one
completely
more.
won
Varun
yet,
has one more.
But he might as well have. 9.63. I believe Varun has a better one-handed solve, but I'm not gonna.
You're really gonna do your guy like that, man?
I'm not. I realized I shouldn't have said that as soon as it came out of my mouth. I think what Varun has over Gurshan right now, they're both very, very good 3x3 solvers, but Varun has been doing this for a very, very long time. Gurshan is a very, very good 3x3 solver. However, his lack of experience in these big competitions is probably what did it in for him today.
Well, 9:14, so there you go. At match point, very, very calm on the timer stop, making sure not to get any type of penalty. And that will be match point. Varun did end up sealing the deal a little bit closer than he would have liked, perhaps. But my head a little bit. Very first PSL match is done. Varun is going to advance. Gurshan is out at 7.
Announcing our winner for this match, Varun Mohanraj. He advances to the next match.